and we're back. So now let's talk about Lauri Markkanen. Let's spotlight Lauri Markkanen on this
Is it
Bulls roster.
Lowry or Lori?
Laurie.
Lowry, Lori,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it looks like Lauri. When I see it written, it looks like
curly
Lauri.
hair. I mean, it makes sense, Lori.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts about Markkanen, Tim. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think that Lauri Markkanen can bounce back with the Bulls after last season?
So just a couple stats, guys. Just a basis for my thoughts. Laurie went from going 19-9 the year before to 14.7 points per game, 6.3 rebounds per game, shooting about 34% on 3-pointers. So let's start with Laurie first of all. That the other day, the Bulls and Lauri Markkanen could not come to an agreement on a contract extension.
Mm-hmm.
So this effectively says, Lauri, you're a free agent at the end of this season. I hear they were about $4 million apart or so, which and it makes sense because somebody like Jonathan Isaac, who's been injured, kind of not really a similar player, but he's getting a 4-year, $80 million deal from Orlando. And Lauri, at this point, in my opinion, is better than
Is
him.
a better player, yeah.
Yeah, but if he's asking for that kind of money, I don't want to shell out that kind of money. That's more than you're paying Zach LaVine.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's had 4 for 75 on an incredibly team-friendly contract. So I'm not shelling it out. This is almost a win-win, son. First of all, Lauri, figure your crap out. And we're just going to get the most of you. And if we want to re-sign you, cool. Otherwise, we're going to win with you playing really well.
Oh.
So you know what I mean? If we're going to light Mitch Trubisky, same
Mm-hmm.
deal. We're not going to re-sign you. Play for your contract. So I like that. I don't like him as a player. There's a big question, like we talked about. Was his regression due to coaching and scheming, or is it due to himself? And I think sometimes players show their potential in the first couple of years and then fall off. Lauri was really good, especially in huge stretches last year where he averaged 19 points per game. He had several double-doubles, 20s and 10s, where we're coming into last season thinking, oh, this dude's like going to be an all-star, going to be the future of this team. Yep. He had a 35-17 game in the first game of the season, as most of you guys know. And from there, just didn't ever show the same aggressiveness. I remember he would tear through the defense, huge dunks over people, consistently driving to the hole. This guy, and Boylan's fault too, but he just shows a passivity on the court a lot of times where he'll just wait at the three-point line, not cut, not do much. He'll just wait. And he just kind of drifts. I'm a little worried, son, that his personality type is not as dominant. He's not a very selfish player. And over time, if you don't take advantage of that as you grow older, it just starts to become a certain complacency, even as just a person. Right? Mm-hmm. So at 23, I was so eager to do so many things, but then life happens. And then 26, I'm not that same way. And it's hard to get back. So I'm kind of worried. He needs to be a ball handler. He needs to be a creator. That's where he's at his best. He needs to show cutting ability. Let's hope that Billy Donovan helps him to unlock him. But I'm also worried because we're going to have Patrick Williams there. We're going to have Wendell Carter. We're going to have Zach LaVine. I'm worried he's going to get lost. And then by the end of the season, he's not going to really have a role. It's going to be kind of awkward, especially if you get Thad Young to play a little better. And if Daniel Gafford gets going as well.
Yeah, he looked pretty good in preseason.
Yeah, he did. And I'm just worried here, guys, that Lauri Markkanen is going to kind of get lost in the shuffle, especially if he doesn't start improving in the beginning of the season.
Wow. Yeah, that's a strong take, Tim. I like it. I tend to think that Lauri Markkanen is going to bounce back. I know you mentioned the stats. He regressed. He had that awesome 35-17 game, and we thought he was just going to take off. But I listened to the interviews with Billy Donovan, and he mentioned specifically on what he sees from Lauri and what he wants him to do out on the court, and he has a plan for how Markkanen is going to get more involved in the offense, like you're talking, cutting more, helping facilitate the offense, taking shots, cutting to the basket, putting the ball on the floor sometimes. I mean, I think his role for Markkinen is a lot more than just go to the wing and sit there and wait for a shot.
Let's
And
hope. He's horrible at hitting wide open threes too. He's horrible at it.
I mean, I think it gives me some optimism when I listen to Donovan talk about how he plans to use Lauri, that I
Yeah.
think he is going to have a bounce back season. But I can 100% see your take on this. And because you're right. And, we've had Lauri now for 2 years. We've been
Yeah.
able to see him at his best and at his worst. And when you get to see the floor of somebody, it's a little scary for him.
It's frustrating because you had those Dirk comparisons, and he had a
Yes.
lot of those games where it's like, okay, this dude's different game, but he has that same kind of just at his peak, he has that same kind of superstar possibility, and he just hasn't consistently shown it. So we got to hope maybe Donovan and a new coach and a new system can really start to unlock him.
Yes, 100%. Because, yeah, just like you said, I can just see him just being a bench player if he
Yeah.
doesn't get this fixed, and just being a role player for the rest of his career.